And Money Watch, the next generation wireless network is just around the corner. 5G wireless service is expecting a massive rollout come 2020. With an average of 11 connected devices per U.S. household, consumers are more eager now than ever for faster and more reliable network.
You're being exposed to radiation right now. It's coming at you from both space and the soil, from water and food. Your body itself is radioactive, and you're being exposed to microwaves and radio waves, both natural and human-made. Wi-Fi, TV, radio stations, cell phones, 3G, 4G, and now 5G. And 5G is just getting started. Qualcomm, Samsung, Verizon, LG, Sprint, all these companies and more are right now working to build out the 5G ecosystem. So the question is, what are all these things doing to you?
The connection between your cell phone and your cancer risk.
It's being absorbed by your head.
More than 99% confident that there is no such effect.
Brain cancer warning labels on cell phones.
The least concerned about
5G, the next generation of wireless technology, is much more than just faster internet. It's the groundwork for the Internet of Things. A system through which everything from your heater to your dishwasher to your door lock to your car lock will be connected to the internet. Here's the former head of the FCC.
If something can be connected, it will be connected in the 5G world. Autonomous vehicles, smart city energy grids, transportation networks, and water systems. Hundreds of billions of microchips. The 5G revolution will touch all corners.
5G fifth generation technology promises faster download speeds and conveniences that most of us have never dreamed of, but will also be blanketed with a new type of radiation called millimeter waves. Health experts are warning about the rising risks with a 5G rollout.
It's not been made clear to the public that 5G won't just be another number and letter on your cell phone. It requires an entirely new infrastructure of thousands of small cellular antennas to be erected throughout cities where it's going to be installed.
What would 5G infrastructure look like? Small cell antennas could be placed as close as every third hydro pole. Scientists from 42 countries are now warning their governments about the emerging health problems associated with wireless radiation, and Canadian doctors and scientists have added their voices.
The most prevalent symptoms include headache, fatigue, decreased ability to concentrate, tinnitus, irritability, and insomnia. Impacts on the heart and the nervous system are also of great concern.
Dr. Rena Bray has been working at the Provincial Environmental Health Clinic for 15 years and seen the number of people suffering adverse effects from electromagnetic exposure rising.
We are concerned that the upcoming introduction of 5G will significantly increase the proximity and extent of exposure to microwave radiation in Ontarians. We predict that the number of people who develop the symptoms I just mentioned will rise in the places where 5G is first installed.
Doctor.
I'm going to show you why. They just put all those up over there.
Breaking news, these new 5G Death Tower networks are going to be worse than living in a microwave oven. You saw some 15 milliwatts per meter squared on this tri-field meter. And as this victim approaches the window, he's getting dosed. And it just goes off the scales, way beyond the microwave oven, and he's not even outside. Imagine these poor sheeple walking on the street, oblivious, on their phones, no less. 1 in 3 men out there will die of cancer thanks to these 5G death towers. Those numbers are going to double, ladies and gentlemen, and it's only going to get worse. You can't imagine the genocide that's coming thanks to this death tower network. Look at this power supply, look at these amplifiers, basically connected to this giant antenna. And it's amazing People are going to be watching these things go up from their bedroom window. They're going to be across the street from everybody. And it's going to bring misery and mayhem, to say the least. These new and improved death towers are going to be at your shopping centers, your grocery stores, your schools, you know, right across the street from you, no escape. And that's the plan, ladies and gentlemen. No escaping these death towers, no escaping the eugenics program. Everybody should be horrified by the prospects of seeing one of these death trees, death towers, death pods from your bedroom window, you know, on your way to work. It's just not necessary. These things have a range of up to 250 miles in some cases, 5 miles for these little death pods that they're putting up everywhere. And of course, you know, since they can only put one carrier on a death pod, they're going to be, you know, putting 2 or 3, you know, of these poles clustered together. And I mean, it's just going to be a nightmare.
Being here to discuss a critical issue for our country's future, winning the race to be the world's leading provider of 5G cellular communications networks. It's all about 5G now. We were at 4G and everybody was saying we have to get 4G. And then they said, before that, we have to get 3G. And now we have to get 5G, and 5G is a big deal, and that's going to be there for a while. And I guess at some point we'll be talking to you about number 6. What do you think?
There's one story in particular that made the list of all the stories ignored by the media that we want to tell you about. This is a story that we not only covered, I mean, we actually got into a public feud with the New York Times over our coverage of this story. So what's the story? It's a question of 5G and whether 5G may actually pose a health risk.
Today we're learning, as of just yesterday, a broad coalition of scientists, doctors, and otherwise advocates of a national 5G revolution sent a letter to President Donald Trump demanding a moratorium on 5G wireless infrastructure until the potential hazards for both human health and the environment have been fully investigated by actual scientists. Now, according to this 5G resolution, the FCC says over 800,000 antenna sites will be needed to fully deploy 5G to the U.S. And in terms of global deployments, they're expected to reach almost 5 million just by next year. Now, what they're saying is that 5G will dramatically increase the public's daily exposure to the radio frequency electromagnetic fields that we already have, but in addition to that, we will have even higher wavelengths of exposure. Now, they're also saying that 5G was not pre-market safety tested, and research shows that 5G has biological effects on human, bees, trees, and the environment. So they're saying that it is not safe, given the science that we already know.
In our opinion, I think we're only halfway there through what I believe is a super cycle. I mean, our checks in terms of Asia continue to show not just iPhone 11, but China overall ahead of expectations. And I think it's a drum roll into 5G and a re-rating of the stock. So many will say, okay, the stock's up 75% year to date. I think only halfway through. That's why I think 350 is the next stop.
So 5G is the next thing that everyone's waiting on. The question is, do you believe there will be a 5G phone come fall of 2020?
Yeah, I mean, we just came back on our China trip, and we believe you'll have 4 phones that will at least be 5G enabled. And the key question right now is, of the install base, you have 350 million. That's in the window of an upgrade opportunity. I view 5G as open up the floodgates for the next, what I view as a super cycle.
What the next decade will bring for everything from climate change to health. And we are kicking it off with a look at the 2020s in tech. The last 10 years have changed the way we get music, movies, and news. The decade saw the arrival of the Amazon Echo and the rise of Spotify and Netflix. Meanwhile, Uber, Lyft, and Airbnb transformed how we travel. So what could be next in this next decade? CBS News.
Super fast internet, right? So we connect right now with 4G. Your phone or your device connects to a big tower on top of the hill. It sends a signal down. Relatively slow. 5G, smaller base stations, different technology. But the key point, these things will go about 50, 100 times faster once it's fully implemented. And we have no idea what we'll be able to create when we can send information 50 to 100 times faster. The last time with 4G, that's why we got Uber. That's why we got all of the things the last decade.
You don't think about that.
Uber wouldn't have worked. Maybe Instagram wouldn't have even worked with 3G. Once we got to 4G, all that stuff was possible. With 5G, it won't just be you'll get your email faster, because that doesn't matter. It'll be something we haven't imagined yet.
Telstra's got 5G, yes. But what exactly is it? And if it's so good, how good? So I'm going to travel to 3 capital cities to test it out and see whether it's worth looking at now or holding out for. Right now, there are just 3 5G-enabled mobile phones on the market. The LG V50, the Samsung Galaxy S10 5G, and the Oppo Reno 5G. Oppo is so confident theirs is the best, they're flying us around the country to test it out. Right now, 5G is only available in most capital cities, plus Toowoomba, the Gold Coast and Launceston, and even then, only in small areas. Here in Brisbane, I've found a 5G tower so we can put it to the test and see what to expect from 5G, and I'm hoping it's going to be fast. Already, comparing the 3 phones, the Oppo and LG are clocking similar high speeds, with Samsung lagging behind. The Oppo measured a top speed of 681 megabits per second, and to put that in perspective, you could download a 2GB movie in just 25 seconds. The LG was second at 667, while the Samsung topped out at 593. To compare, I've done the same test on the 4G network, and here, 5G is around 3 times faster. So why all the fuss?
It really is going to unleash, if you like, and support, the next wave of the Industrial Revolution for things like autonomous vehicles, things like, augmented reality, virtual reality, and the smart home, the smart cities.
A couple of hours in the air and I'm in Melbourne, where there are even more 5G hotspots, and the speeds I'm seeing here are even better than the ones we saw in Brisbane. Now, because 5G is such an advanced technology, it actually works best when you're within line of sight of the mobile tower, which, let's be honest, isn't always the case. I did some tests directly underneath a 5G tower, and the speeds were phenomenal. Just a block away, the speeds were halved. Which begs the question, do we really need the faster speeds?
I'm happy with what I've got, and it's just a matter of when you're going out of 4 into 3, you do notice it slow down.
Technology's moved, so we're just keeping up with technology, aren't we?
With my 4G, it's really hard to watch videos, so it takes ages to load my video up.
What will you do with faster speeds though?
Probably nothing.
Another flight, and this time I'm in Sydney. Here I'm getting some incredible results, over 1,000 megabits per second on the LG and the Oppo, but also a huge amount of variation, with speeds halving as I move away from the tower or just to the other side of it. Sydney's a big, busy city, and the speed of 5G is dramatically influenced by the number of people using it at any given time.
When we get access to the new band of frequencies, which the government is going to auction next year, that's going to be really exciting, because when we get access to that, you're going to start seeing speeds of around 10 times what you see on 4G.